This is iDesign Lab, a podcast where creativity and curiosity meet style and design. Curator of interiors, furnishings, and lifestyles. Hosted by Tiffany Woolley, an interior designer and a style enthusiast, along with her serial entrepreneur husband, Scott. iDesign Lab is your ultimate design podcast, where we explore the rich and vibrant world of design and its constant evolution in style and trends. iDesign Lab provides industry insight, discussing the latest trends, styles, and everything in between to better help you style your life through advice from trendsetters, designers, influencers, innovators, fabricators, and manufacturers, as well as personal stories that inspire, motivate, and excite. And join us on this elevated, informative, and lively journey into the world of all things design.
Welcome to our little iDesign tidbit for today. We're going to discuss lighting and how important lighting is, not only aesthetically, but in temperature and where things vary and differ for lighting.
Lighting in residential, right?
Mainly in residential.
Residential?
Yeah.
Because lighting sets the mood.
Lighting sets the mood, and you can actually play with lighting. And nowadays there's so much really cool opportunity with rechargeable lighting and lamps and all these cute little push-button lamps that I can't remember their name right now.
It's one of the things that most people don't think about or forget about, especially in designing and decorating a home. It's, they redecorate a home, but don't put it into the thought of how and what the temperature of the lighting is going to be in your home.
Right, and making sure that your temperature is, cohesive throughout, so you don't have, bright white in one area and
right. So a lot of people
lighting.
Are going out and they're putting in hi-hats in their home, or they're putting new lamps in their house, or
under counter lighting,
sconces
is another one
or
that
chandeliers,
they mess up on.
But not thinking about what's the type of light bulb you're using in that. And most people think about it, I think, from a standpoint, what I relate to is at work, in a work environment, most of the time the lights are very bright, and a lot of people will complain that the lights are so bright, I'm getting a headache, and that's probably because they're at a light temperature of probably 5,000 or maybe even a little bit more, which gives you that really bright hospital feeling in a room.
And you don't want that in your home.
Correct.
And when you have clients that are buying a house purchasing and then moving in, a lot of time you have mixed mosh of lighting. You have different temperature hi-hats, and then we're putting in beautiful atmosphere lighting and ambient lighting, and
you want the lighting in a room to be all the same.
We tend to like 2,700 to 3,000 Kelvins.
Which is something that if you walked into Home Depot or walked into a lighting store, you're not really asking them for, can I get a 3,000 Kelvin light bulb? Most people are used to asking for a 100 watt or a 60 watt or 40 watt, and as you go down in the watts, the temperature of that bulb is less. The 2,700 to 3,000 Kelvin is really a nice soft light that sets a mood for a room. If one of the other things pertaining to lighting is using a switch or using a dimmer.
All things should have dimmers, in my opinion. It definitely is a little more pricey to do that, and even if you have to switch them out yourself over time or, hire somebody to do it, you definitely want to have dimmers, because that's, and people also walk into a room and think a certain temperature might make things dark, but it's not the case. You definitely want to be able to, bring the light up or down at different times of the day, even when it's like, doing makeup and you're doing your makeup to go out in the evening, you definitely want to bring your temperature down in the lighting so that you can,
or even watching TV or watching a movie.
Creating the mood.
You want to set the mood for
lighting.
In the lighting that you have in your house.
Yes. And like when you're cooking, you raise your temperature, but then when you're done cooking and you're sitting having dinner, you can lower the temperature in the kitchen. So it really does set a tone, and it's really important for people to take notice and really, take a collection of what they have in the house that they're working with And if it's, wanting to set a better mood and vibe in your residence, you really should start with lighting.
It actually affects you mentally and how you feel and how you look at things from the standpoint of how the lighting is in your home. And having a 27 to 3000 Kelvin, which is a soft light, which is what most people, soft light, daylight, bright light, are the three main terms you find, as I mentioned, going to a Home Depot or a store like that, buying light bulbs. But the soft light is what's beautiful and nice in a home. And as what Tiffany just said, having a consistency of the same type of bulbs in a room especially is very important.
It's very important.
And also throughout the house. Typically your kitchen or the bathroom, you might want it a little bit brighter, but the rest of the house
but the same temperature.
Right, but the rest of the house you want, a little bit softer.
Yes. And like Scott did just mention about keeping that consistency, but I really think the important part is adding in these rheostat dimmers so that you can go up in brightness, but your temperature stays the same. So you're not losing any light when you want it. And
right.
I personally am a big lamp light.
You're big in sconces and pendants.
Mood lighting. So anywhere and everywhere that you can, add the light. And it doesn't need to be in, your traditional placement either. They can be juxtaposed. You can do two on one side of a sink vanity. You don't need to stay in these traditional builder special placements. You definitely can challenge yourself and update and, juxtapose lighting in some very interesting ways that they take on a more architectural detailing and bring light.
Right. And then today, LEDs are the bulb of choice because of the fact that they're not releasing heat, which is helping with the air conditioning in your home.
Right.
They
don't have to be as big of units either. They're
right.
much
Well, the
more
old
compact.
incandescent are kind of being phased out, and halogen, which are very, very hot bulbs, are being phased out. So, if you're looking to change or get the lighting in your home right, you should really be looking at LEDs that are in that 2700 to 3000 Kelvin.
And a lot of them now you can change the range on site.
Well, hi-hats.
Right, hi-hats.
All the new hi-hats that are being sold, you can make that adjustment
as they're
on the
being
hi-hat.
installed.
Yeah. So lighting is a very, very important part of design and aesthetic within a home. So keep it in the back of your mind when you're
2700,
redecorating
3000.
or decorating.
Add the lamps everywhere. Add them on the nightstand. Add them on the desk. Add them on the dresser.
And another really cool thing is, which Tiffany mentioned, is the amount of desk lamps and just lanterns and lights that are cordless, that are basically, battery powered, lithium battery powered, built into it.
You do have to recharge them, but it's a great alternative to people who are living in high rises and, have cement ceilings that you're worrying about, or even older, historical style houses that have
the place that we've seen these, where most people have seen these, are restaurants. A lot of restaurants now have them, but now all the lighting companies have come out with all different, outrageous, unique styles.
Putting them on a bookshelf, using them on a cocktail table as atmosphere lighting again, or ambient lighting, and next to your little sink in the kitchen, put them in a powder room. Like, they just create great little mood lighting. We love to use them when we're entertaining on the patio and by the bar. So they're just great little extra.
So think about lighting to light up your life.
I like that. That's our iDesign Lab tip today.
iDesign Labs podcast is an SW Group production in association with the 5-Star and TW Interiors. To learn more about iDesign Lab or TW Interiors, please visit twinteriors.com.